Mark, I mean, first of all, before we get to BHP in particular, I want to bring up this question of the day. Where is the floor for commodities as they touch a 3-year low? Where do you think? Headed lower?
I think it's probably going to be evening out now, and because a lot of this commodity purchasing is done forward, if you know what I mean. In other words, China will think about what do we need in the next 6 months, what do we need in the next year, and then purchase accordingly. And probably the cutoff in spending or in buying has already been done. So I think we're going to have probably a sideways movement. But of course, commodities, as you know, a lot of speculation, so there'll be volatility. But I think in terms of demand, it's probably going to be steady from here on in.
And as far as BHP is concerned, is it a buy, given that dividends looking pretty good? We heard from the CEO saying earlier that, BHP can overcome any downturn.
I love those dividends, and I like the diversification that you get with BHP, although, of course, you've got all kinds of problems with some of the commodities. But generally speaking, the fact that they're diversified and they're paying a nice dividend is really a big plus as far as I'm concerned.
And Mark, at this stage, I just want to bring in gold. I mean, it's still hovering above 1,500. It's down slightly today, or pretty much flat. But some say that there's a rally to be had going forward, given concerns about recession, given geopolitical concerns as well. Where do you think gold is headed, and at what level should people be looking to buy gold?
I think you have to be buying at any level, frankly. I think gold long-term prospect is up, up, and up. And the reason why I say that is money supply is up, up, and up. You know, with the efforts by these central banks to lower interest rates, they're going to be printing like crazy. And then you have all of these currencies, new currencies coming into play. So I call them psycho currencies because it's a matter of faith whether you believe in Bitcoin or any of the other cyber currencies. And I think with the rise of that, there's going to be a demand for real hard assets. And that includes gold, because gold can play a role not only as an asset, but also as a currency.
How much of gold should you be holding in your portfolio?
I think about 10% makes sense, and the rest in high-yield stocks, and maybe a little bit in bonds, but bonds I'd be cautious about at this stage of the game. But yeah, about 10% would make sense. I'm talking about physical gold. Now, you can also buy gold mining companies, but that's not that attractive. And you can buy ETFs with gold reserves, but they are susceptible to government takeover. So I think you've got to have physical gold.
Mark, we talked about how it's a big week for commodities this week, largely because of Jackson Hole. What do you hope to hear from Powell at Jackson Hole later this week, and how will that impact the commodity prices?
I think Jackson Hole is really a situation where nobody knows what they're saying and what they're going to say. And I think they're going to give some hope. I think they're going to respond to what Trump wants. And they're going to say, OK, we're thinking about lowering because there's some signs that the economy may not be doing so well, et cetera, et cetera. But it's going to be more and more confusion. And of course, the problem with these central bankers is that they're faced with depreciation of assets, and they're faced with not inflation, but devaluation.